Hey guys, um, I welcome you all to this live session. So today we will have a lot of interaction, and we'll be focusing on a lot of stuff related to Python and data science. So we had a live session series called as Python for Beginners, and for that we had planned a Q&A session. And I believe if you had attended those sessions, you would have some sort of queries with respect to some topics which we had covered. And today's session is entirely dedicated to that. So if you have any doubts or any queries, we've got 1 hour of time and we'll be covering all of that today. And now, before I start off with the session, again, I need a confirmation from you folks. If you guys can hear me and if you guys can see my screen, just put up yes in the chat so that I can, I can know that everything is proper. And also in the meanwhile, I'd like to inform you guys that we have launched a completely free learning platform called as Great Learning Academy, where we have over 100 courses with respect to a lot of different topics such as data science, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and so on. And once you complete these courses, you will get a course completion certificate, which you can go ahead and add onto your resume or onto your LinkedIn page. And once you complete these courses, you will get a course completion certificate, which you can, that would be really helpful for you guys. So, also for the folks who are visiting our channel for the first time, I'd request you to hit the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon, as it will encourage us to come up with more such live sessions and also upload videos on a regular basis. So, I see a lot of yeses in the chat, and this would give me a confirmation that everything is proper, and that is awesome. Now, we've got around 72 people watching the session right now, and if every one of you folks could just hit the like button, that would be wonderful. So the YouTube algorithm works in such a way that if you hit more likes, then more people would know that we are conducting this live session, and more people who are interested to learn about data science or Python would be able to join this session. So it would be much appreciated if you could just also hit the like button. Right, so it's time for the Q&A session, guys. Let me start off by all of the questions which are there. So I have a question from Devang Sareen, and he's asking, just wanted to know the importance of OOPS when it comes to data science. That's a really interesting question. So when it comes to data science, I'd say the core implementation, or you wouldn't find heavy implementation of object oriented programming, because mostly data science you'll be dealing with libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Then you also have scikit-learn, and you'll also be focusing with deep learning frameworks such as TensorFlow and Keras. But if you only talk about core implementation of object-oriented programming with respect to data science, I'd say that implementation is quite less. So I hope that answers your question. So if you would want to venture into the field of data science, I'd advise you folks on focusing your time on these libraries and learning the machine learning concepts, learning the math behind all of the machine learning concepts, and also building a solid statistical foundation. So I hope that answers your question, Devang. Omilon Pal is asking, what is the path to learn time series from zero? When you talk about time series, so it's again a subset of data science. So I'd again request you folks to not directly jump into data science. So before jumping into data science, first again, your primary step would be to learn the basics of statistics. So if you have attended my previous live sessions, I've been telling you guys the same thing, that when it comes to data science or machine learning, the core building block is statistics. So before jumping on to this domain called as time series analysis, I'd request you folks to master all of the statistical concepts. And once you master all of the statistical concepts, then you can go ahead and focus on time series analysis. Now, time series analysis is just a subset of data science. Now, normally what happens is, when you are working with different machine learning algorithms, you will have an independent variable and you will have a dependent variable. So here, time series analysis is a special case of machine learning where your independent variable is always time. So x and y. So if you look at x and y, x will always be time over here and y is dependent on time. So to give an example, let's say if I would want to know the sales of shoes, if they have increased, if they'll increase in the next year or not. So here sales of shoes will be y and time will be x. So here y is dependent on x, where x is time. So time series analysis is just a special case of your machine learning algorithms. So first master statistics. After mastering statistics, you can go ahead and master a bit of supervised learning, a bit of unsupervised learning. Then you can also learn whatever is your weapon of choice. You can either choose R or Python, and once you're good with all of these three, then you can jump into all of the time series analysis concepts. So I hope it answers your question as well. Mohammed Ashraf is asking, how can I get a job with your certificate? So certificate is again just a stepping stone. So Great Learning, when you go ahead and complete courses on Great Learning Academy, that certificate will be a value add to you guys. So let's say if you are appearing for an interview and there's someone else who is competing for the same position and he does not have the certificate, then you'll be at an advantage only if your skills are better than him. So this is what you'd have to understand over here, right? So after completing the course, you will get the certificate, but it will boil down to your skills. So there's candidate A and candidate B, and if candidate B has better skills than candidate A, then candidate B will be preferred more if he has, if he has the skills and the certificate. So this is what you'd have to understand. So after completing the course, keep working. Go to sites such as Kaggle, participate in different data science competitions, and improve your expertise. So that is what will make your path much more easier in getting a data science job. Shashank is saying, I learned Python. I wanted to be in the field of data analytics. Now, that's actually good, but most people think that is learning a language enough to be a data scientist, or just knowing a language, is it enough to become a data scientist or a data analyst? So the problem over here is Python is only a language. So once you learn the language, there are a lot of other things which also come into focus. So Python again is a versatile language. With the help of Python, you can do a lot of things. So you can do things such as web development, game development. You can go into, you can also apply for the roles of full stack development. You can obviously apply for the positions of data science and machine learning. Now you mastered Python, but what are the other things that you need to know to get a data science job? So this is what matters. So along with Python, you would also have to be good at statistics. You would also have to be good at math. You would also have to be good at all of the machine learning concepts. You'd have to be good at implementing linear regression, logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, and all of these different machine learning algorithms with Python. Right? So you need to have the expertise to implement all of these algorithms from scratch with Python, and that is what will help you. Now, once you are good with all of these, again, you need to have a lot of open source projects to back you up. So you can collaborate with others on sites such as Kaggle, or maybe you can also collaborate on GitHub itself and share your code with other people and work on some interesting projects. So this is what will help you. Raghav Arora is asking, what is the real life work of a data analyst and a data science person? That's a very, very interesting question, Raghav. Now, again, the job roles. So the title data analyst or a data scientist, that is totally dependent on what the company wants you to do. So there are some jobs where the data analyst tag would mostly require you to work with just Excel, or there are also some companies where you are mostly doing only data entry works, but they will give you the data analyst tag just to lure you into the job. So, but if you actually want to get into the core data analytics field, then let me tell you what a data analyst or a data scientist does. So let me give you a couple of examples over here. So let's take a hypothetical scenario. Let's take a hypothetical scenario where, let's say, you are the lead data scientist at a telecom company, and all of your customers, let's call your telecom company to be, let's say, Generation Z, and all of your customers are churning out to another telecom company called as Generation Y. So as the lead data scientist at your company, you would have to come up with solutions which will help your company to retain all of your customers. So here, as a lead data scientist, you will have some data scientists and data analysts working with you in your team. So now what you'll do is, the data analyst will start working initially. So first, in the data science life cycle, you'd have to start off by acquiring the data. So the first stage in the data science life cycle is data acquisition. So here, data acquisition would mean that you would acquire all of the customer related data, about all of the lifetime customer data which you have with you. Now this could be anything. This could be data related to gender of the customer, age of the customer, the geographical location of the customer, the monthly tariffs of the customer, the yearly tariffs of the customer, the internet pack of the customer. So there could be thousands of factors. Now, data acquisition, as a data analyst, you are acquiring all of this data from your customer pool. Once you acquire all of your data, you would have to find out your target data. So target data is based on your problem statement. So your problem statement is, how do I ensure that my customers do not churn out to my rival company Generation Y? So here, this is a classification problem. So here in the classification problem, you will have a variable called as churn, where you will have two values, yes and no. So churn yes would mean that the customer will leave you and join your rival company. Churn no would mean that he will stick to your company. So in this case, what you're basically trying to do is, you're trying to build a classification model which will help you to sort of predict what factors will help me to retain the customers. And depending on the problem statement you will choose. So let's say, as I've told you, there are thousands of factors. Now out of these thousands of factors, the candidate factors would be very few. So let's say that you could have data such as age of the customer and date of birth of the customer. Now it is if you include both of the columns in your in your table, that will not really add much of a value because that is redundant information, isn't it? Age of the customer and date of birth of the customer is generally redundant information. So out of these you will only keep one column. So this is how you'll acquire the data. So from the acquired data you will choose your target data on the basis of your problem statement. Now once that is also done, what you're going to do is, from this target data so now this is in the form of an untidy data. So this untidy data has to be converted into a tidy data set. Now what do I mean when I say this has to be converted into a tidy data set? Well, your data set will have a lot of missing values. The names of columns could be incorrect. The names of some of the values in the records could be incorrect. So there could be a lot of different things going wrong in your data set, which you'd have to go ahead and rectify starting off. And once you convert your untidy data into tidy data, that is when as a data analyst you will do a lot of exploratory data analysis. And in this phase you'll be you'll be basically using libraries such as pandas, matplotlib and seaborn, and find some quick insights from the data set. So let's say if you would want to find out how many female customers have their monthly charges greater than $50. So, or let's say how many senior citizens have have an internet pack of more than $10 per month. So these are some of the quick insights which you can find out by using libraries such as pandas, matplotlib and seaborn. And with the help of matplotlib and seaborn, these quick insights can be represented in the form of beautiful graphs as well. So this is EDA. So data acquisition is first stage. After that you will convert that into tidy data. After that you'll do exploratory data analysis to find out some quick insights. Once all of this is done, then the data scientists take over. So here the data scientist, depending on the problem statement, will build a machine learning model on top of the data. And since this is a classification problem, the data scientist will most probably try to build an optimized classification algorithm, such as it could be logistic regression, decision tree, or random forest. So they'll do their analysis, they'll do their trial and error, and they'll finalize on one particular classification algorithm. And this classification algorithm will then give them a final result. This final result would then help them to understand if the customer will churn out or not. So this is the general life cycle. This is general data science life cycle, and this is how the works of a data analyst or a data scientist is distributed. So I hope that answers your question as well. So this was quite an intriguing question because there are a lot of steps involved over here. So that was a really good question, Raghav. Ravi is asking, my question is, which database is easy to better way? I'm not able to understand your question properly, so if you would rephrase it, that could be better. When you say which database is easy, I don't really understand that properly. Sanjay Kumar is asking, can you give a roadmap of data science? Absolutely. And as I have reiterated it over here, the roadmap of data science is pretty simple. First and the most important step in a data science life cycle is statistics. So you can't do anything in data science or machine learning without statistics. So so in statistics, start off with simple things. So start off with simple things such as measures of central tendency, measures of deviation, central limit theorem, and so on. Once you comprehend this, then you can also focus on the complex probability stuff. So you'd have to know about probability distribution, normal distribution, Gaussian distribution, and so on. So normal distribution is an essentially core component of data science and statistics, because so if your data is normally distributed, it would mean that it will give you a bell curve, and there are a lot of insights regarding the bell curve. So these are some things which you'd have to understand in statistics. And after that, there would let's say if you're also dealing with complex deep learning topics, you would require knowledge on linear algebra and matrices. So this is the entire math and statistics component. So the statistics and math component will be your first pillar, and once you master your first pillar, after that I'd recommend you guys to focus on any of the core analytical tools. So right now in the industry, we have Python and R as the two most top free analytical tools. And apart from Python and R, you also have another analytical tool called as SAS. So SAS is not a free tool, SAS is a paid tool. So SAS is a paid tool because you also have support service from their end. So if you have let's say any bugs in your project, you also get support from SAS directly. So you can if you learn any of these, let's say if you learn Python, it'll be extremely easy for you to learn R. Similarly, if you know R, it'll be extremely easy for you to know Python. So just start off with one language, pick one language as your weapon and master it. And once you master it, so you're done with stats, then you can implement these stats concepts with any of your weapon of choice. And then finally you can focus on the machine learning side of things, or the data science side of things, where you'll be learning all of the concepts of different algorithms. And once you learn all of the concepts of different algorithms, you can go ahead and implement them using these different languages. And once that is also done, focus on participating in a lot of open source projects, and also participating in a lot of data science hackathons, data science contests, and that would be your ideal data science journey. Suman Kumar Jha is asking how to program Arduino with Python. So when it comes to working with Arduino in Python, normally Arduino is so that comes under the field of IoT, or information of Internet of Things. So and then Internet of Things, also it's mostly the combination of actually Raspberry Pi and Python, and not really Arduino and Python. So when you're working with Arduino, you'll normally be using C# as your desired language. So let's say if you we talk about smart cars, we talk about smart houses. So this is where all of your IoT comes in, your Internet of Things comes in, and this is where you'll be using all of the all of the microchips. This is why you'll be using Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and this is why you'll be using Python to code Raspberry Pi. So that is how it works. Prince Kumar is asking, what is the difference between machine learning and data science? Again, a very interesting question. So here, when it comes to data science, you can consider data science to be an umbrella term. So under this umbrella term, you have machine learning as one of the components. So as I've told you guys, in data science, we have all of these stages. First stage is acquiring data. Next is tidying up this data. Then you'll do a bit of exploratory data analysis. After that, you will build ML algorithms. This building of ML algorithms is actually a data science life cycle. It is a stage in the data science life cycle. So as I'm telling you guys, data science is the umbrella term. So this is the superset, and under this superset, you have this subset called as machine learning. So implementing of machine learning algorithms is just a subset of data science. Let's say if you're ever asked this in an interview, this is what you'll tell the interviewer. Nishat is asking, please tell which website is best for learning Python. So if you're new to Python, if you're a complete beginner to Python, we have a comprehensive video on Python. We actually have a lot of comprehensive videos on Python on our YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check out all of those videos. So that is something which will help you out. Vaibhav is asking, what is the mean of object oriented? So this is a very interesting question. So I actually have a slideshow. Maybe let me just open that up. That'll be much easier for me to tell you what is object oriented. So you are obviously surrounded by objects, aren't you? So the phone which is present in front of you, that is an object. The laptop which is there in front of you, that again is an object. The speaker which is there beside you, that again is an object. So everything around you is an object. And if you would want to represent all of these and if you'd want to represent all of these real life entities in the programming world, you would need an object oriented programming language. So as you see over here, this mobile is a real life entity. This is a real life object. And if I would want to represent this in the programming world, I would need an object oriented programming language. And this is where Python comes in. So Python is actually one of the object-oriented programming languages. You also have C++, Java, and a lot more object-oriented programming languages. So Python is one of them. And now, in object-oriented programming, you have two important components. First is known as class. Then you have something known as an object. So when we talk about class is the template or blueprint of real world entities. So when I say it is a template or blueprint for real world entities, again, we'll take this particular example over here. Let's say we have a phone. Now, if I would want to create a blueprint or a template for a phone, then this blueprint again will have two things associated with it. So the blueprint will have certain properties and it will have certain behavior. So the blueprint will tell you, about the properties of this phone class. So a phone will definitely have a color associated with it. a phone will definitely have a cost associated with it. It'll definitely have a battery life associated with it. Then similarly, a phone will have certain behavior associated with it. So with the help of this phone, you can make calls, you can watch videos, and you can play games. Now I have defined this general template of this class named as phone. So now that we have this, the specific instances of the phone are known as objects. When I say specific instances, so your phone could be Apple, it could be Motorola, it could be Samsung. So these specific instances of your general template phone are called as objects. So I hope that answers your question about what is object oriented. Kailas Krishnan is asking, is basic knowledge of Python sufficient for data science, or does one need to have deep knowledge of Python language? When it comes to data science, the libraries which you have to focus on are NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and scikit-learn. So these are the 5 primary libraries which you'd have to focus on. So Python obviously has around tens of thousands of libraries present in it. You don't have to master all of those tens of thousands of libraries. It's just these 5 core component libraries. And when I say these 5 core component libraries, believe me, these mastering these libraries on the surface level is quite easy. But let's say if we talk about NumPy, then properly dealing with all of the NumPy arrays is something which will take a significant amount of time. Similarly, when we talk about Pandas, then doing proper data analysis is something which will take you time. If you talk about libraries such as Matplotlib and Seaborn, then making proper visualizations by adding proper title, the x-axis label, the y-axis label, the legends, having the proper color combinations, all of that will again take a bit of time. So focus on these 5 libraries for now. Once you master these 5 libraries, then focus more on working on real life problem statements, and I believe you'll be good to go. Gaming Tech World is asking, is Python very long? That's a very vague question, I'd say. Any language in general is very long because there are a lot of things which you can cover in a language. But it depends on what is it that you want to do. What is your final what is your final goal? So let's say if you'd want to be in the field of web development, then in that case you'll be focusing on libraries such as Django, Flask, and Beautiful Soup, right? So if web development is what you'd want to do, you'll focus on libraries such as Django, Flask, and Beautiful Soup, and you'll not really be focused with libraries such as scikit-learn, Pandas, or NumPy. Similarly, let's say if you want to go into the field of full stack development, then you will try to master the concepts of data structures and algorithms with Python. On the other hand, if you want to go into the field of data science, that is when you'll be focusing on libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, scikit-learn, TensorFlow, and Keras. So first you'd have to ask yourself, what is it that you'd want to get into? If you'd want to go into the field of data science, that is when you'll focus on all of these different libraries which are present. Ravi is asking which IDE is better for Python and Django development. Um, that again, so I personally prefer Jupyter Notebook relating to machine learning or deep learning tasks. So actually for machine learning tasks, I prefer machine learning and data science tasks. I prefer Jupyter Notebook. For for deep learning tasks, I prefer Google Colab. For Django, I prefer PyCharm. So it would depend on what is it that I am trying to do. If I'm working on Django, then I'll prefer PyCharm because it's much more intuitive for me. Govind Shukla is asking, what is the current job trend in data science? Well, even in this COVID situation, I believe you'll be seeing a lot of job openings in the field of data science and analytics, right? So if you go to Naukri.com, if you go to LinkedIn, if you go to Glassdoor, I'm pretty sure that you will find a lot of openings right now with respect to data science, because every organization has a lot of data with it, and this data is extremely valuable. And if a company is able to find a person with the right skills who can give you proper business insights from this raw data, that will be extremely beneficial for any organization or any business. And it is not just limited for private companies or MNCs. Even the government also needs a lot of work relating to data. So to give you guys an example, let's say when the government was working on implementing the Aadhaar card, they required a lot of data, and they had hired a lot of folks who had proper skills in data science and analytics. And also, so again, not just government, not just corporate sector, you also have application of data science in academics and medicine as well. So right now in this pandemic, because of this pandemic called as coronavirus, we need a vaccine. We need to know how can we stop the spread of coronavirus. So a lot of data scientists are working with a lot of biotechnicians to actually find out a cure for coronavirus. So you never really know, a data scientist along with someone in the field of biology might be able to finally find a cure for coronavirus, or a data scientist would be able to stop the spread of coronavirus in some areas. So the trend is quite good right now, and it's just that you need to have proper skills, and if you have the proper skills, you will get the job. Sonu is asking, as I'm from BCom, will I be able to make my career in data science as it is becoming more and more competitive day by day? Sure. So here, when you say you're from BCom, I'm assuming that you have absolutely no knowledge of any programming or anything technical. So for you, in that case, I'd recommend you to start off with a programming language, maybe. So this would be the hardest part for you. So as you're from as you've done your BCom, so I believe someone from the commerce background, the most difficult part for you could be coding. So this is where you need to put in more effort, put in more of your grind, and not to lose your confidence when you're not able to code properly. So put in more effort, try to master this language called as either Python or R. Then again, since you're from the commerce field, I'm assuming you're good with math and stats. So once you're good with coding, then you'll be easily able to work with the statistical side of things. So that will be an advantage to you. So after that, once you're good with Python or R, you're start brushing up your stats skills, and then you can go on to the machine learning algorithms or the data science algorithms and start applying them with respect to different problem statements. So even though you're from the commerce background, one advantage could be that you have a bit of statistical knowledge already with you. So that could be an advantage to you. So also, if you go to these websites such as Glassdoor or LinkedIn, you will see that when it comes to data science positions, they would ask for, sometimes they would ask for maybe a master's or PhD in statistics, because that is very important. So throughout this live session, I am emphasizing this a lot on statistics, because data science and machine learning is essentially stats. It's essentially just dealing with data. So if you're good with statistics, 90% of your problem is solved. If you're good with statistics, you are automatically good at data science. So that is something you need to focus on a lot. Kids Creator is asking how much analysis is required for data science. What do you mean by analysis? How much analysis is required for data science? I mean, so exploratory data analysis is just a part of your data science life cycle. So again, I'm not really able to understand this question properly. Sheikh Rashid is asking, is unsupervised learning used for analysis? Which sort of analysis, Sheikh? So unsupervised learning is just a subset of your machine learning algorithms. So you have unsupervised learning, supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So it is just one of the subdomains of your machine learning algorithms. I'm not sure for which type of analysis you're asking about this. Ehsan Shamim is asking, I graduated in mathematics. Can I learn data science and suggest some books for data science? So again, as I've been telling you folks, if you're a maths grad and if you have actually learned something in your graduation, then it would be quite easy for you, because data science is essentially statistics and math. So if you're good with statistics, if you're good with linear algebra, if you're good with, let's say, complex matrix multiplications and all of that, then you'll be, half of your battle is done, right? So you're good with math. The problem is statisticians are good with math, but they're bad at coding. So since you're from the math background, I don't think it'll be much of a problem to to master all of the statistics concepts. If you're from the stats background or math background, I'll advise you to focus more on the coding side of things, because that is where you'll be weak. So this is where data science, I find it to be very interesting. It's just not limited to one particular domain or one particular field. It's an amalgamation of stats, coding, and different machine learning algorithms. So that is why you need to have skills with respect to all of these things. So if you're from stats, focus more on coding. Similarly, let's say if you're an engineer or a computer engineer, I am assuming you are good at coding, but you'll not be good at stats or math. So if you're from the IT field, or if you're from the computer science, if you're taking the computer science branch, coding is something which you might know. So learning Python or R would not be difficult for you. So this is where you'd have to focus more on statistics and different, the complex understanding of different ML algorithms. Thirumalai Kumar is asking, which editor will be suitable and efficient for Python? So Thirumale Kumar, when you say editor, do you mean IDE? Do you mean an integrated development environment? So personally for Python, when it comes to data science tasks, I prefer Jupyter Notebook. And when it comes to, let's say, game development or web development, I prefer PyCharm. So that is what I do. Suraj Patwal is asking, which topic should I learn in statistics? So statistics, I'll just list down some topics. If you have a pen and a paper, note them down. Measures of central tendency, measures of deviation, central limit theorem. Then we'll head on to probability. So in probability, learn about conditional probability. Then you have there's something really important known as Bayes theorem. So Bayes theorem is just you can consider this to be a specialized probability under conditional probability. So that is very, very important. And you also have an ML algorithm called as naive Bayes, which is built on top of this Bayes theorem. Then you would have to know about different probability distributions. You would have to know about normal distribution. So normal distribution is very, 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 very important, right? Drill this into your mind, guys. Normal distribution is one of the most important topics in statistics when it comes to data science, because if your data is normally distributed, it would mean that your data is present in the form of a bell curve. And when your data is present in the form of a bell curve, for this data, the mean, median, and mode will be equal. And this opens up a lot of different opportunities for you as a data scientist to explore the data, right? So these are some things which you have to learn in stats. There are a lot more things as well. So these are some of the basic concepts. Then you have something known as hypothesis testing. And then hypothesis testing, you would have to learn about null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. You would have to know about p-value, you would have to know about z-score, and so on. So if you have a pen and a paper, list all of these down. So these are some things which you need to have concrete grip on. Just give me a couple of minutes, guys. I'll just drink a bit of water. Right. So guys, before we start off, so we have around 95 likes. So if we could quickly reach around 120 likes, that would be awesome. So all of you folks who have just joined and haven't yet clicked on the like button, if you could quickly hit the like button, that would be appreciated from our side a lot. And also to all of the folks who haven't yet subscribed, please do go ahead, click on the subscribe button, and also hit the bell icon, as you'll be notified whenever we are coming up with new live sessions, or whenever we are uploading new tutorials. So quickly go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also click the bell icon. That would be much appreciated from our side. So let me head back to the questions. Rohit Sethi is asking, I am doing SISS from 5.55 years and SQL 4.2 years. What do you suggest, data science or data analysis? Oh, it's really good that you already have knowledge of SISS and SQL since 4 years. So 4 years is actually good enough experience in SQL. Because you already have knowledge of SQL, then entering into the data analytics field would not be much difficult for you. So normally the data scientist roles are more paid than the data analyst roles, and assuming that you already have 5 years of experience, I would recommend you to focus more on the data scientist roles rather than the data analyst roles. And since you're already good with SQL, I'd recommend you to focus on the other things, which, as I've told you, are statistics, programming languages such as Python and R, and also focus on the other machine learning algorithms. So just increase your skill set, and I'm pretty sure you'll bag a job as a data scientist. Mohammed Sarfaraz Khan is asking, which skills should we possess as data analysts to succeed, especially in countries like US or Canada or Europe? Sarfaraz, this question is a bit odd because skills are pretty much the same when it comes to data science or any other field, isn't it? So as a data scientist, these are the skill sets which you require. You can just write it down in a book. So irrespective of whichever country you're working in, the skill sets are pretty much the same. So if any company, so whether this company is in India, whether this company is in US, whether this company is in Canada, whether this company is in Australia, if they're hiring for a position of a data scientist, what they'll do is they'll look for someone who is extremely good at one, statistics. This is something I believe you would have known by now. Two, you would have to be really good at implementing all of the ML algorithms by yourself. Three, you would have to be able to write optimized algorithms, these optimized ML algorithms in Python, R, or SAS, right? So if you are able to master these three pillars, then you will get the data science, the coveted data science job in whatever country you're living in. So I don't think geographical location matters much if you have these required skills. So if you go ahead, if you go to Naukri or LinkedIn, you can see the skills required, right? So just open up LinkedIn once, just open up Naukri once. So whether it's a job in India or whether it's a job in US, you will see that the skill sets required are pretty much the same, isn't it? Right? Because the data scientist would be doing the same job irrespective of whichever country he lives in. And also, since this is pandemic, I don't think till maybe at least the end of the year, you'll actually be physically going to the office and you're remotely working from home. So just master these required skill sets, and let's say if you want to get a job in US, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do that as well. Then we have Vihan asking how to create a game. So to create a game, let me start off by giving simple examples. So let's say if you want to create a simple snake game, then you have a library in Python called as Pygame. So start working with Pygame first and build a simple snake game, see what happens. If that piques your interest, then maybe you can explore more. Anubhav Pandey is asking, how is Great Learning different from other learning platforms? Well, at Great Learning, we believe in providing you guys really high quality education. So we provide you these high quality live sessions tirelessly every single day. And also we come up with a lot of high quality tutorials from industry experts. So we've got industry experts who've got their PhDs and master's degrees from Ivy League schools such as Stanford, Stanford, and we've got University of Texas, Austin, and so on. So we have Abhinanda Sarkar as our, as one of our esteemed faculty members. And if you have seen some of Dr. Sarkar's videos on YouTube, you would know that he is one of the best data science academicians in India. Ashwini is asking, is web scraping a career? No, web scraping is not a career. Web scraping just means that you are mining data from a website. That's pretty much what web scraping means. Taking out data from a website is what is known as web scraping. So that's not really a career. Sonu Bhatti is asking, does non-technical background will have a hurdle when it comes to salary package? No. Irrespective of, again, whichever domain you are. So see, as a manager, so let's say if I'm if I'm a lead data scientist at a company, and if I'm hiring someone for my team, what I look at is I will look at someone who has the required skills to help me in the project which I'm currently working on. So I have a project, my company has a project, and I would need a helping hand, a good resource who will help me over here. Now, irrespective of whether this resource is from arts background, technical background, or commerce background, if this person has the required skills, I will go ahead and hire this person in the team. So it just matters that if you have the skills or not. So again, candidate A, candidate B, if you're the candidate A and if you have more skills than candidate B, it will be you who is hired. Just remember that. Pramod is asking, distance learning can learn DS and get job. Distance learning, you can properly learn data science, but then again, to get the job, it boils down to you. So guys, whenever you talk about getting a job, it all comes down to you, because it is you who is appearing for the interview. It is you who is learning all of these skills. If you don't put in the effort, if you don't put in the hard work, if you don't put in the grind, you can't really blame anyone else. So it all comes down to your skill set, how much you participate, and how much you work on different projects, how much you work on different data science contests. That is what matters. Dharamveer is asking, does machine learning and data science require data structures, algorithms, or complicated programming? The answer would be no. The answer is a proper no, because the SD roles and the data science roles are quite different. They're quite stark actually. So for SD roles, you would need a proper understanding of data structures and algorithms, but for the data science roles and the machine learning roles, a brief understanding or a small understanding of DS and algo is needed, but you don't need to have comprehensive understanding of DS and algo. So sure, as I've told you, the important part is statistics. So guys, just drill this into your mind: statistics, statistics, statistics. If you want to go into the field of analytics or data science, just drill this into your mind that you have to be really, really, really good at statistics. So that is what you need to focus on. So guys, I believe I have covered enough questions today, and we are also done with our 1 hour. And if you have liked this Q&A session, and if you want us to just let me know if you have liked this session, and if you want us to conduct more such sessions. Let me know if it's a yes or a no. If it's a yes, we'll be conducting more such Q&A sessions on a regular basis. So also let us know which Q&A session you'd want next. Would you prefer a Q&A session on, let's say, maybe SD rules or artificial intelligence or maybe cloud computing? If you could just let us know, that would be wonderful. Okay, great. So I see that you find this session to be helpful. So what we'll do is we will conduct these Q&A sessions on a regular basis, and we'll have these Q&A sessions on different topics. Maybe we'll have one next on DevOps, one next on cloud computing, one next on SD roles. So that is something which we are actually planning to do. Great. So guys, this will be it from my side for today. And if you find this session to be insightful, go ahead and again hit the like button, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our channel, and click on the bell icon so that you are notified whenever we come up with a new live session or come up with new tutorials. Thank you guys.